Are we finally getting an open beta for Deadlock? That is the question I want to look at today because honestly, the rumor mill has been swirling, and I want to parse through a little bit of what we have so far, what we know, and why people are talking so much about Deadlock's open beta potential. Hey everyone, this is Connor here at Dead Unlocked, and like I said, I just kind of want to get into some Reddit theory. We're going to be looking at some Reddit posts today, so if you're not on Reddit, this will all be probably new to you. Some of this stuff is circulated around as well, but if you are on the Deadlock the Game subreddit, you're going to be familiar with some of these posts, but I at least wanted to kind of walk through a timeline of where we're at and what we can expect from the Deadlock open beta situation right now. And yeah, just kind of lay it all out. So, I kind of want to go in order. I've got a few posts already set up here, so I just kind of want to walk through them and explain how we are where we're at. So, a lot of conversations started 7 days ago. This is being recorded on July 22nd, so on July 15th, Yoshi posted in the Deadlock Discord server. There's no patch today. We are still actively working on all of the content for the next major patch. So this confirmed a few things in the community. One, it confirmed that there is a major patch happening and soon, and one that's actively being worked on, which I guess you can make the case they're always working on one. I don't know. This feels like it's an immediate kind of major patch coming up soon, and I think developers are being pretty clear about that here. So that is slowing down some of the other kind of things happening in the game right now. We're seeing less balance patches come through. We have seen some, but we are in the process of getting a major update that many are speculating is going to have heroes involved, which would make a lot of sense. Probably, you know, I've done some theory videos on the channel about what could be coming, whether it's new heroes, purely experimental heroes being added in as kind of full rostered heroes rather. Map redo, jungle redo. There's a lot of potential of what could be happening here, right? All right, so that was 7 days ago. And then we have some things from more recent posts. So 12 hours ago, so today, Valve registered the trademark for Deadlock, and the logo was registered. So this could be one of those things that's just purely coincidental. And if I had seen this post by itself, I probably wouldn't have thought much about it. I mean, hey, makes sense that they're doing this. It's a part of the game's development. I mean, this is something that's going to happen as you come out with a game. You're going to have to do trademarks, whatnot, right? All right, 4 hours ago, we get this courtesy of, I believe, yeah, Deadlock 8 on X posted some stuff about this, and then it got posted here to Reddit. I'm not sure which was posted first, but essentially they moved playdeadlock.com to Okami servers. Valve has used these servers for all of its domains, like halflife.com, steampowered.com, etc. Until now, the site had always been on Cloudflare servers. With this and the trademark, Valve is moving forward. That's kind of the claim of the post here, right? And then you've got the thing showing that here. And then I scrolled down, and I was looking at one of these comments, said basically, this kind of lines up with an old leak where people are talking about how, you know, in early 2025, people were talking about how the open beta could be around July. Went to that post here, which was on Gaming Leaks and Rumors from 3 months ago. That links to a couple of Imgur pages. So this is from May 2nd. So these were some leaked images here of just things ahead of schedule of the Viper, you know, potential redesign that's happening. We have the McGinnis redesign, obviously. And then just some snippets of Discord DMs from the looks of it, where we don't have much context, obviously, but people, you know, people discussing, is open beta in July real? From my sources, yes. And yeah, just some other kind of leaks, right? So a lot of things, again, things like that Imgur page, I really take heavy-handedly with a grain of salt. I mean, those are just 2 Discord DMs that could be fabricated by anyone at any time. It's really hard to give that stuff much credence. But I've seen some things about Deathy making a similar claim about July. I personally just felt like when I was talking about this game a month or so ago that it felt like the mid to late July kind of window made a lot of sense. And so seeing all of this other community sentiment, it's hard not to kind of want to jump on the bandwagon and say, it really could be the case that as early as Thursday, July 24th, Deadlock could go into open beta with the next major update. Now the question is, do I think that's going to happen? And what does that really mean for Deadlock if it does happen? Do I think it's going to happen? Honestly, no. I think that what we're probably going to get either Thursday or next week is a major patch. It should have new heroes. It should have all the things that I've been talking about quite a bit on the channel, right? I think that is going to happen sooner rather than later. And I mean, this post from Yoshi from 7 days ago should be confirmation of that. I don't think this lead dev would say, hey, we're going to halt patches right now because we're working on the major one, and then not release the major one pretty quickly. That just feels like it would go kind of out of line with the communication pattern that these devs have had with the game so far. Second question I kind of posed was, what does the open beta really mean for Deadlock? So obviously, it's the next big step in the game's development cycle. That in and of itself is kind of worth, shouting out, worth mentioning. So I think at the very least, it's just the game developing. Obviously, it would mean a massive player spike. It would mean a whole lot of different things, but it would mean that at the very least, the game we have now, the kind of game that we currently have an understanding of, is the game that is most likely going to be what Deadlock becomes. The only reason I make that distinction is because in an early alpha playtest setting, it feels like anything can go at any time. I mean, with the map, for example, we went from 4 lanes to 3. The shop was completely overhauled, right? We've had some, really big changes to the game that have really changed how people play it at a pretty core level. It's always been a MOBA hero shooter third-person game, right? It's always been that. But I guess some of the more detailed intricacies have really been toggled around with quite a bit. I think an open beta really would signal somewhat the end of that happening. We would still get tweaks, we would still get new heroes, there will be other game modes added, queues added down the line, all those kinds of things that would come along with a game like this developing, but the core of Deadlock would remain the same. That is the thing. If that's really, the main heart of what an open beta means, there is honestly a chance an open beta happens Thursday. If that's really kind of the core thread of what this game becoming open beta is, obviously there needs to be servers that can hold increased players, but I feel like that's already been pretty established from when the game kind of spiked last September. We are approaching the 1-year mark of this game being kind of in this early alpha playtest setting, which could signal Valve to want to do this. So there are things that point towards open beta really being a possibility on July 24th, this coming Thursday. But again, it's really hard to know for sure if that should be something that we seriously consider or not. But with everything being talked about today, with a major patch looming, there's certainly changes coming to Deadlock. We just really don't know right now what those changes are. Before I hop off of the recording today, I did want to do a quick kind of esports recap for where Deadlock is as far as esports go. I almost made an independent video about this, but there's just not quite enough to talk about right now, where it feels like I just wanted to kind of give an overview of where we're at. And I'm honestly doing this because I have missed Deadlock Fight Night so much. I've really kind of undervalued what it meant for my Wednesdays to have that to watch. It was this constant stream every week of like, what are pros doing in Deadlock? What are high-level games looking like? And I honestly have been really kind of lost since then. Not like in the sense of I don't know what's good and what's bad, although many people disagreed with my tier list on patch day. I digress. I think, though, what we're looking at right now is a bit of a resetting when it comes to Deadlock Esports. Dead Air has announced they're going to be doing a tournament called Deadlock Deathmatch, which is very cool. Deadlock Fight Night is still in the process of rebranding and kind of relaunching their brand, which I think probably happens the next week or so. Potentially being timed with a major update. Who knows? Maybe this one's the same way. Who knows? And then Deathy's obviously been doing his Death Slam tournament as well. So we're seeing a lot of just great community folks step up and run tournaments. So I want to give shout outs to Dead Air, Deathy, and the soon-to-be renamed Deadlock Fight Night crew. The scope of this channel will never be to host a community esport, but it will certainly be to cover all of these other channels' esports and provide updates, analysis, those kinds of things. So I always want to be a supplemental resource to those things happening, never necessarily an entity hosting one ourselves. So wanted to talk about those things. I'll provide all the links I can in the description to keep, that way you can stay up to date with those things as well. But that is going to do it. I just wanted to mainly, again, come on and do a quick update about what's going on in Deadlock right now as it pertains to leaks and things. We will continue to provide updates here on the channel, so absolutely stay tuned. But until next time, thank you all so much for tuning in. From our house to yours, we'll see you all next time here at Dead Unlocked.